In some societies, women are not allowed to speak out. So they say that if a Muslim woman speaks in ways expected of a woman, she's seen as an inadequate leader. If she speaks in ways expected of leaders, she's seen as an inadequate woman. However, we have a long history of Muslim women in leadership.
Raheel, why is there a fatwa on your head?
I speak out against Islamic extremism. I speak out against political Islam. I can't begin to imagine how they would even conceive an idea that building an exclusive place of prayer for Muslims in the very place where Muslims murdered so many other Americans would in any way build tolerance and respect. I speak out against the violence that has totally engulfed the Muslim world today.
In Saudi Arabia, a few years ago, there was a fire in a girls' school. And some girls were not allowed to escape or run away because their heads were not covered. So they perished in the fire.
One thing we have to do is to educate our young women and to empower them to bring about change.
Political Islam in North America has only grown since 9/11 because of political correctness.
When a Muslim woman speaks out or is qualified to take a leadership role, she's called militant. There was an article written about me that said that militant Muslim woman. For these Muslim women like me, this work involves great sacrifices and hostile response. They also say I have too much direct eye contact for a Muslim woman. They don't know I can't see without my glasses on. It is my greatest passion. It is my life's work to work in women's rights and education. If you educate one boy, you educate an individual. If you educate one woman, you educate first an entire village and then a nation.
A face covering is a mask. It is a security risk. There is no place in Canada for a face covering.
Where does this place me as a Muslim woman with a deep connection to my faith, living in the West, and watching with horror as my faith is hijacked, and I feel trapped between the extreme right and the extreme left? From Kabbalah to Sufism, all wisdom teaches us that one individual can bring about change. So, ladies and gentlemen, as President of Muslims Facing Tomorrow, with you as witnesses, I officially announce the birth of this new organization.
You know, this is not a religious organization, Ezra. It's a Canadian organization. We happen to be Muslims.
While we are activists, we are also mothers, daughters, wives, friends, and grandmothers.
Our new group, Muslims Facing Tomorrow, has embraced modernity, and we embrace equality, we embrace democracy, we embrace individual liberty. And that individual liberty and freedom means the freedom to offend. Now, these people who were out protesting should have been protesting about issues that are really important. Honor killings, the oppression of women, of minorities. It is absolutely a perversion of the religion. There is nothing in the Quran that speaks about this issue of honor killings. But as you know, the radicals always misinterpreted and used it to their advantage. It is a way of power and control over women. Niqab and a burqa are not Islamic requirements.
When women become leaders, I assure you there will be more peace in the world. Look at the women who were leaders, like Golda Meir, Indira Gandhi, Benazir Bhutto, and Margaret Thatcher. They had great capacities to bring about change.
These are Saudi-supported, Saudi-funded practices which are being passed off under the umbrella of multiculturalism.
Our patriarchal masses still don't easily accept women in leadership positions.
It's always the same people. They enjoy all the freedoms, and yet culturally they are stuck in a quagmire. We're going to deal with Muslim issues and other issues. What do you believe? How can we share? How can we pray together? How can we stay together?
And I know I have 1 minute left, but you have to take out time for the applause. So I'm going to take an extra minute.
As a Muslim, for me to appreciate and understand my own faith, I must also learn about you. I must understand your faith as well. We are not allowed to say Merry Christmas. It's become politically incorrect to talk about Christianity as such. So as a Muslim, I find that offensive.
This is not an easy task. Why? Because of my gender.
We have on our advisory board people from many different faiths.
Here we have a Muslim telling us that Christians are being too quiet about their distinctives in our culture.
I love her already. You're coming home with me.
I read in my holy book, the Quran, that we should be very sensitive towards people of other faiths. At the basic foundation, most faiths teach the same things, which is good towards others.
We can't move ahead without the support of men and women from all faiths and cultures. I was born an activist.
You know, while there is no requirement in Islam to cover the face, there is a requirement in Islam to follow the laws of the land.
Gandhi said, become the change you want to see.
This is what it's all about. When we are ignorant about each other's faiths, each other's beliefs, it leads to fear and racism and discrimination.
As a woman of faith, I believe that I will be asked the question, what did I do as an individual when the world was burning?
They prefer that the women should walk around covered from head to toe like tents. Why? Maybe they should wear a burqa for a month and then speak about how it feels. And why do we even give any time of day to Saudi values? Why the double standards and why the hypocrisy?
Mayor Bloomberg and other bleeding heart white liberals like him don't understand the battle that we moderate Muslims are faced with.
Stop being politically correct. Ask questions. Curiosity is human nature.
So just say, what does your faith believe?
I found that there are positive ways to bring about change. I also happen to be an eternal optimist.
A movement that is modern, democratic, humane, thinking, reasoning, literate, liberal, good neighborly, respectful of women, homosexuals, atheists, and everyone else.
One that equally respects the rights of Muslims and non-Muslims.
Ms. Raza, I have to compliment you. That was about as articulate a indictment of this whole crazy thing that I've heard.